Hi, I'm Venus O'Hara and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to make a video that's slightly different from my normal videos, and this is called How I Manifested My New Apartment. Well, I've just moved and I'm so happy to be in my new environment, my new space, and it's something that I wanted to manifest for so long, and it felt like it was never going to happen. So I want to share with you all the things I did to manifest my new apartment. And let me see, I've made some notes which have no logic. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the law of attraction. I know there's lots of videos about manifestation, manifesting new homes with the law of attraction. And I think you have to take these things with a big pinch of salt. I saw an amazing documentary recently talking about the dark side of the law of attraction and people making money from it, expensive courses, etc. And I think you have to take it, I think it can be dangerous for some people if you're in a vulnerable position, you want to change your life, and there are people giving away lots of money to just because they hope they're going to improve their lives somehow. So I do think there's a kind of dark side to the law of attraction. But for me, I don't believe in buying anything more than a book, perhaps. But there are many resources online to help you use this tool if you believe in it, of course. Well, for me, I discovered the law of attraction many years ago, and someone told me about The Secret, but I never actually read the book. But the concept was very interesting to me, and I used it for a while, and then things started happening, and then I got very busy with things, with projects, etc., and I kind of forgot about it for a long time. And then 3 years ago, I rediscovered it, and I've kind of been using it ever since. But going back to the apartment thing, I was living in a shoebox apartment for just over 3 years. And it was a place of massive growth for me, even though it was a very small place. It was only 20 square meters. So there were some very challenging times being in such a small space, especially throughout lockdown. I felt as though I was in a prison almost, because for a long time, we couldn't go out, only for going to the supermarket, etc. And I wasn't really happy in the area I was living in either. And also during lockdown, there was parties all over, because I was living in a penthouse, which sounds wonderful, but there was other penthouses with roof terraces in front of me having parties here, parties there, and I felt like I couldn't escape, and it was incredibly frustrating. And I wanted to move even before lockdown happened. So I just felt like I'm never going to leave. I'm never going to be able to leave this place. And also just walking around the area, I just felt kind of down, really. But I never lost hope. And I do believe that, which is a bit later on in my list, that things, it seemed as though it was taking a long time, but I've learned that things don't take a long time. They just happen when they're supposed to. And I really believe that's an empowering thought. If you're trying to manifest something and you feel that it's not happening, it will happen when it's supposed to, if it's supposed to, of course. So anyway, at first when I was looking for an apartment, the good thing about lockdown, well, I was looking for before lockdown. So when lockdown happened, I felt very frustrated because I felt like it was going to, everything was there's lots of uncertainty in the air. But the good thing about it was that it really was a good opportunity for me to actually save money, because I was not spending money on gym memberships or what else, co-workings, clothes, travel. So all I was spending money on was just rent and the utility bills and food, and not much else really. So it was a great opportunity to actually save up for moving. And also it was a good opportunity to actually see, the good thing, I know it's been hard on the economy, but the good side of it was that all the rental prices were coming down a lot. So the kind of apartment, I don't think I could have been in this apartment that I'm in now if it had been a year ago or a year and a half ago, and I was still so desperate to move then. So everything's worked out really well. So at first I was, I think what's really important in the law of attraction, if you want to manifest something, is to be specific about what you want and write it down. But for me, at the beginning of my search, all I knew was that I wasn't happy in my environment at the time. I felt very frustrated, but I didn't really know where I wanted to go. And I wasn't really completely 100% certain about an area either. For example, one of the areas I was considering before lockdown happened I didn't really have many friends living in that area, and I thought I'm gonna feel a bit lonely if I live there. So I was looking. I had a kind of I went on this website that flat rental website, and I drew my own kind of ideal area, and it's kind of a big area. I was keeping my options open, which is it can be a good thing. But as time went by, I kind of narrowed it down a lot more and became a lot more specific about my search, to the point where I actually wrote a list about everything I wanted, where I wanted to live and what kind of apartment. And then I discovered what was really important for me in an apartment. For example, daylight was really important, good windows was important, an area where I could just get a taxi in the street and I wasn't going to feel unsafe walking home. So those kind of things were really, really, really important for me. So anyway, once I became more specific, then the search became easier, kind of thing. But that did take a long time. So yeah, and also what I was doing was, with reference to the law of attraction, I was doing lots of visualization. So I was imagining myself in the kind of apartment that I would be living in, which is very similar to what I found, actually. The only thing that wasn't similar was the floor. In Barcelona, there are these very typical mosaic tiles, which I love, and I wanted an apartment with those tiles, but now I've got parquet, and I'm actually quite happy it's ended up like this in the end. So everything happens for a reason and in the right way. But anyway, going back to the law of attraction, I kind of rediscovered it 3 years ago when I was going through another crisis. At the time, I was living in my previous penthouse apartment, which was by the beach. And it was, even though it was tiny, it was quite expensive. And it took me several months to actually furnish it. I didn't have any money, and I was sitting on the beach thinking, oh, I don't know if I can afford this life in Barcelona. I was thinking the worst, do I have to go back to England? So I was feeling very, very uncertain. And one weekend, I spent the whole weekend alone, and I went online just looking for hope, I suppose. And I came across someone talking about this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which a lot of people read and are inspired by it. And this book was published in 1937. And although it doesn't really say the law of attraction, it kind of is about the law of attraction. I would describe it as a kind of prequel to The Secret. But what really stood out for me in this book was a chapter called The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. And if you follow me, you'll know that I am a sex toy reviewer, I'm a sex blogger, and I've been doing this for 12 years. And so I'm very familiar. My mission in life is to raise orgasmic awareness. So when I came across the concept of using sexual energy to manifest, I had a kind of eureka light bulb moment. I thought, oh my God, how come I didn't hear about this before? I was very, very intrigued. So in this chapter, The Mystery of Sex Transmutation, it talks about using your sexual energy to channel it or to harness it for a higher purpose than just pleasure. And here's what it says specifically. The mere possession of this energy is not sufficient to produce a genius. The energy must be transmuted from desire for physical contact into some other form of desire and action before it will lift one to the status of a genius. Far from becoming genii, I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce it, because of great sex desires, the majority of men lower themselves through misunderstanding and misuse of this great force to the status of lower animals. So that's very interesting for me. So then I went down the sex transmutation rabbit hole online, and I learned a lot about this practice. So sex transmutation is basically, if you could be aroused or horny, and then instead of actually masturbating or having sex, then you kind of maybe use thought and meditation and put your action into something else rather than a sexual outlet. And I thought that was very interesting, but then I thought, but I'm a sex toy reviewer, I can't really I can't deny myself of orgasm. And then I came across another practice called sex magic. Dun, dun, dun. And then I read this book last year as well, The Art of Sexual Magic. And I learned a lot of things about using actual orgasm with intention in order to manifest whatever you wanted. So this was even more exciting for me, this practice, rather than sex transmutation. But you can still kind of have or practice sexual transmutation. You could be on a train and then you could have some arousing thoughts, and then you could feel some energy moving through your body. But instead of actually thinking about some kind of erotic fantasy, you could actually think about what it is you want to do in life, or actually start writing or start doing something, putting that energy into action. So sex magic is something I did a lot for manifesting a new apartment. I imagined being naked in the apartment, walking around. So I've already had a million orgasms in this apartment before I came here. And I imagined what it would be like lying in my new bed, the new lovers I would have, lovers maybe plural, maybe not, but all the kind of sexual feelings I would have, or just walking around naked, being barefoot, the breeze on my body in this new apartment, and how I would feel, which is really important with the law of attraction, is focusing on the feelings of when you manifest whatever it is you want to manifest. And the feelings I was trying to conjure up with feelings of feeling at home, feeling comfortable, and also feeling proud that I was in this new space. So yeah, I did that for a long time, and lots and lots of orgasms. And I felt like it's never going to happen. So I kind of lost hope some times along the way, because it did take a long time. And also, but as I said before, the timing is always perfect, and it happened exactly when it was supposed to happen. Because if it happened earlier, then I don't think it was the right time, because of the economy. The prices hadn't come down as much as as they have now. And also, in my old area, even though I kind of didn't really like it, I did have some friends nearby, and having those close contacts, because I lived alone, was so important to me for my mental health during lockdown. I mean, I really relied on the friends I lived in that area so much. And I wouldn't have had that same option living here, because for a couple of months we couldn't go further than a kilometre away from our home, so you could get a big fine. I can't remember if it was €600, or I don't know how much it was, but something anyway. Was it 600? I don't know, but it's something that you don't really want to pay. But that's all very well and good. You can't just stay at home masturbating and in kind of directing your orgasm towards your goals. You have to actually take action as well. And the actions I did, as well as actually going to viewings in places that I felt that I could live in and I would be happy in. I went walking around the area I wanted to live in. I went to the shops that I would go to, because I'm really really into health foods, and I'm a vegan, and I've now become organic. So now I was going to the kind of health food shops that I would be frequenting once I lived in this area, and now they are my shops. So I already felt like they were my local shops beforehand. And what else did I do? Yeah, so that's it really. I did a bit of scripting as well, but I did one page maybe. But sometimes I think it's really important to write things down when you want to manifest them. Because sometimes when I'm going through my old papers and I find these wish lists that I've written in the past, and I think, oh, I've done all that. So I really believe that having something written down does help you to kind of focus on whatever it is you want to manifest. And yeah, so now I've actually got it. I feel very, very happy. And rather than a kind of jump up and down euphoria, because I was also imagining that feeling when I was trying to do my visualizations of the feeling of euphoria, like, yes, I've got the keys in my hand now. I was also imagining keys in my hand. That was another thing. But I didn't really feel euphoric. I just felt very calm and content, and just that this is supposed to be. Although I've only been here for 3 weeks, it feels like a lot longer in a very good way. Yeah, so voila. And now I'm at a bit of a crossroads in my life, and I'm thinking, what do I want next? So I'm going to be writing some new lists down, because I'm a bit not lost, but I just don't know what's next for me. So I'm trying to think about that, and then hopefully I'll be using these techniques to manifest whatever it is I decide that I want. Anyway, I hope you find this interesting, and if you have anything to add to this or any suggestions for new videos, don't hesitate to leave a comment below, or write to me at venus@venusohara.org, or you can add me on Instagram @venusohara. Thanks for watching.